Okay, very good evening, sir. Thank you for accepting the request for the interview.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
We are running an initiative called Thoughts on Education from College Dunia, and I am Samiran Ghosh, and I will be conducting this interview for you.
Okay.
So, sir, I am Samiran Ghosh, and I did my mechanical engineering from NIT Warangal.
Oh, very good.
And I am currently a business development manager in College Dunia. So, can you please tell me something about yourself?
I have graduated from the same institution, Velagapudi Ramakrishna Siddhartha Engineering College, way back in 1989. After that, I obtained my post-graduation from IIT Kharagpur. Later, I worked for a few years in Ashok Leyland, Chennai as a product development engineer and also in Bharat Atmos Limited Kolar Goldfields. Later, as I am interested towards teaching, I joined this institution in 1992.
Okay, sir.
After that, I worked in several positions, starting with entry position as a faculty with a designation lecturer in those days. I worked as assistant professor, I worked as a professor, I worked as controller of examinations and head of the department of a big department in our institution, that is mechanical engineering, for a period of 7 years up to 2014. Later, I have taken this position of principal of Velagapudi Ramakrishna Siddhartha Engineering College since 2014, and still I am continuing this position.
That's amazing, sir. That's a lot of experience you told about. So,
and also,
yes, sir.
And also, I am a recognized expert by the National Board of Accreditation in accrediting programs of various higher education institutions in the country. And the All India Council for Technical Education recognized me as a Margadarshak in the country, one of the Margadarshak in the country, and also the institution as Margadarshan Institute for mentoring the upcoming institutions in and around this region, one among 41 institutions in the country from 2018.
Amazing, very congratulations for this post.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. I will move on to the next question. It's basic questions about your career itself. So, sir, being the a chief dignitary of this institution, what is your philosophy on leadership, and how would you describe your leadership style?
Probably being a management expert in a kind of electronic media like College Dunia or maybe print media. Probably you might be have known there are different leadership styles. That is democratic leadership, pace-setting leadership, affiliative leadership, and coaching leadership. But mostly, I am also certified by what you call that CMI of UK. That is Chartered Management Institute of UK. I was certified. I am a member of that by UK, organized by the MHRD. I follow pace-setting leadership along with democratic and coaching wherever it is required, because that has brought a lot of success to the present status of the institution. Because when I have taken up this position in 2014, I used to compare the activities and performance of the institution with many metrics of the prominent institutions in the country. I used to compare where we are lacking, why we are lacking, how do you bridge this gap, how do you fill this gap is very important. And I can proudly say I am successful when you compare with the time I have taken up this position with today. Many achievements, many recognitions our institution has achieved by the government, by the public, by the students, by the parents.
So this is definitely because of the lots of experience in education and an amazing background you have.
Not only that, not only experience.
Yes, sir.
I do editing in a task mode, in a mission mode. It's certain objective and time frame. Not simply talking and writing. Certain objective, certain time frame. So in order to meet this objective by this so and so time, what is the action plan? And reviewing that action plan and interacting with the concerned leaders of the departments, concerned HODs of the departments, concerned deans of the departments, if necessary, conducting a meeting periodically. So there is a continuous monitoring and follow-up.
Okay, so then this will definitely lead to a good management, obviously, sir.
Definitely, undoubtedly.
Yes, sir. Undoubtedly, sir. Yes.
Right.
Okay, sir. Something more about your college. So, sir, how does the curriculum of your college ensures the best practice in the industry?
Very, very good point, sir. Normally, ours is autonomous institution since 2006. Since 2006, as soon as I took up the position of principal, this is a big institution in the state of Andhra Pradesh, and also the first institution established in the year 1977. This is the only first institution, sir. No other institution is established. Amazing. So, throughout this journey up to 2014, the activities and performance of this institution is not much visible to the society. As soon as I have taken up, immediately I revised the curriculum, not theoretical revision, but involving the real experts of industry. What is going on in industry, and taking those cases, those requirements, we incorporated not only into the theory courses, but we incorporate into the laboratory. Whatever knowledge and skill the student need to have by the time they enter into the industry, the same skills we have incorporated into the experiments of the laboratory. That is a secret of our curriculum. And also, real industry experts are there wherever our students are joining for placements, joining for employment. We have taken them on board of our board of studies, on board of our department advisory boards. These two are very important. Board of studies, any institution will be having. But I have set up department advisory board. They used to meet at the end of every year. Department advisory board consists of experts from industry and experts from alumni. You see, this is very important. Experts from industry, experts for alumni, because those are the two key stakeholders who can really throw some light. What is really required for the students? What is really required for the faculty? Those sessions we incorporate into the curriculum. Not only simply keeping into theoretical courses, we kept in laboratory, and also we are really taking their services in delivering some of the courses. Both in electives, program electives, as well as open electives of the institution. So, as adjunct faculty, this we have been doing for the last more than 3 years. In fact, the concept of adjunct faculty have come to in India after we have taken up this. The National Board of Accreditation, All India Council for Technical Education, they have recommended this, including adjunct faculty from industry. Maybe it has come into the existence 2017, whereas we have taken up this initiative in 2016 itself.
Okay, so that means there is a lot of initiatives taken by your institution for the welfare of the students, sir.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. They are really coming. In fact, this pandemic has given you a golden opportunity that now we can take the services of the industry experts, many industry experts who are located at a far distance place from Vijayawada because of this online methodology of teaching.
Sir. Definitely, sir.
So the benefit the students are getting is amazing. Over these 4 or 5 years, the placement rate and also the cream placements, that means placements with high-end packages, have increased enormously. It has become nearly more than double. In terms of cream placements, in 2014, it is only 10-15. That means 10-15 with more than 5 lakhs. Now we have come nearly more than with 4 lakhs, more than 250, 5 lakhs, more than 100, like that. And placement number increased from around 50%. Now we have gone to more than 70%. 575 number to around 950. In terms of percentage, 47 to more than 7.
Okay. So that's really amazing to hear. Sir, I also wanted to know about something about you. That is, sir, you have held a lot of key positions in the educational institutions throughout your professional career. So what are the key factors that keep you connected with the education sector?
So the more important thing is, as an expert, I have visited many peer prominent institutions in India, both in South and North. As an expert of National Board of Accreditation, or as a what you call some kind of you can say margadarshak or mentor, you can name anything. I have seen what is the secret of making those institutions best in the country. What is the secret? Why, for example, College of Engineering Pune, Tyagarajar College of Engineering Madurai, PSI College of Technology Coimbatore, or some other institution, I am not naming all. Why they have come to good position? Why they are ranked below 50 in NIRF ranking? What made them to go to that level? What kind of practices they are adopting? This exercise I have carried out 5 years back. That is defining the key performance indicators and identifying the benchmarking institutions and comparing our parameters with those institutions. And I have observed some gap. So accordingly, I have taken these steps long ago. So in order to bring some kind of change, we need to change the mindset of faculty, which is very important in India.
Yes, sir.
If you compare with the so-called developed institutions in Western countries or some other countries, the mindset of faculty is totally different compared to the mindset of our institutions. So I brought a lot of policy changes. While recruiting the faculty, while promoting the faculty, and also I have, with the support of our magnanimous management of Siddhartha Academy, we have incentivized their performance. It is not simply based on time bound. We have incentivized their contributions. For example, if they publish a good research paper in a quality journal, we have incentivized it. Similarly, if they have got some funding from an industry or from any national funding agency, we have incentivized it. So that means every worthy contribution is recognized. Similarly, somebody has guided a set of students, and made them to secure good placement with a worthy package. It is also incentivized. Likewise, leaving the service. Till now in the country, we are always, even the regulatory bodies like AICTE or UGC, till now, they have been giving the importance for the number of years of service in education. Very fortunate enough, in the new education policy 2020, the government of India has removed that service. Service is only one of the factors, but they are now identified the contributions of faculty leaving the service. So they are going to give different elevations to the faculty based on their contributions. So this will definitely change the country. That has to come in all the institutions across the country. Obviously, the quality of education increases, and also every contribution, every involvement of the faculty, we are measuring in terms of the outcome. For example, somebody has done a project work. What is the outcome?
Yes.
Is it leading to some kind of product development? Is it leading to some kind of publication in journal? Is it leading to some kind of award? Whenever we encourage the students to participate in national hackathons and competitions, what is the outcome? What is the outcome of the project? So that we have made, we have brought into the system enormous change we have observed. Many students are going outside and getting prizes in various competitions conducted by NITs and IITs and IIITs and national research organizations. And we have established innovation incubation centers in every department. So in those centers, we have involved industry. Not only establishing is sufficient. If you have got money, you can also establish. But you have to involve industry. You have to take their suggestions and recommendations. You have to take up a project work, which will lead to some kind of model useful for the societal service, or some kind of software solution, some kind of design. So likewise, based on their recommendations, based on their suggestions, we are continuously promoting this activity as a part of innovation and incubation centers in every department.
That's a great insight, sir. So adding on to this only about your college only. So how do you tend to establish a healthy relationship and environment in your institute?
Sir?
How do you tend to establish a healthy relationship and environment in your institution?
So that I have been normally, in addition to the principal role of the institution, I used to conduct interactive meets with all department leaders and also senior faculty and also junior faculty in groups. Okay. What is really required for their career growth? What is really required for sustainability of their positions, sustainability of this higher education in the country in the years to come? Because as you know, year after year, technology has been changing continuously. We don't know, today there is a lot of demand. 5 years back, if you see, there is a demand for mechanical and electrical. Yes. Today, the government has observed that the demand is drastically reduced for core engineering, and it has increased to computer science and IT based technologies and also branches. Now, what is that? What is the way ahead? What we have to do? So what I have done is, now the existing core branches also, we want to integrate with IT. That means some of the courses they need to study and they have to take up the project works related to the interdisciplinary nature. That means nowadays, probably you might have heard that digital manufacturing is going on. You need not to go to the machine. You need not go to the workshop. You need not stand nearby the machine. You can control from your computer all parameters of manufacturing. Any parameter of the manufacturing you can control, you can monitor, you can change. So that is why every project work, whatever they are going to take up, either mechanical, civil, electrical, or instrumentation, they can definitely integrate with this Industry 4.0 technologies, that is robotics, that is Internet of Things, yes, or digital manufacturing, or big data, cyber security. I need not name machine learning, deep learning, or blockchain technologies. So, irrespective of the core, there is no core at all. In fact, I used to say my people, both students and faculty, in the coming 5 years, probably you may not find that a particular student is qualified in BTech and mechanical. You cannot say that. You may have to say student must be with engineering degree, skilled in so and so area. Yes. That is what you are going to see. So that is why Government of India has introduced recently the concept of degree with minors, degree with honors. So it was there in the other countries long ago. In fact, even though I am younger, I've been telling people whenever I participate in government meetings, I've been telling, like in other countries, we have to educate our students with a real expertise in a particular narrow area, in addition to broad area, particular narrow area, what you call that, allowing them to choose certain courses of their interest, which will be useful for the industry. So, and automatically their employment potential will get increased, and also they can learn with more enthusiasm because they are interested in that. Some student may get a mechanical engineering admission, probably he might be interested in computer science. In such a case, let us identify those who are interested in computer science and automatically add some of the courses from the computer science to the open electives of the mechanical engineering program. Automatically, you can satisfy the student. They will get the right knowledge. Automatically, they will get better placement. That we have been experiencing for the last couple of years. We are experiencing this qualitative output come outcome. That means job as well as package. Both we are able to achieve for some of our students of mechanical engineering and also electronics and instrumentation. They are able to get the job 7 lakhs and 10 lakhs, which is not so 3 years back. So with this kind of providing opportunity, we are able to get this success.
True, sir. So that was a lot of insight about yourself and your college. So, sir, on a short note, I would like to end. So, what is the suggestion you would like to give to the current youth and the aspiring students?
Current youth, actually, undoubtedly, this is a very, very important question for majority of students, because in Andhra Pradesh, for example, if they write MSET or if they write JEE examination, I have seen both ends. Even my son have joined through JEE. He joined in NIT Bhopal last year. Majority of the relatives and friends and students, they come to me and ask the advice, sir, where I have to join, which branch I have to choose. I used to tell only one thing: choose an institution which has got all the competencies to make you the best in the industry. Not that branch, not only the branch. Branch may make you a little bit advantages like CSC and IT. When you look at the success stories of some of the students of core engineering also, if you interact with them, if you interview them, they will say, I have specialized in machine learning, I have specialized in blockchain technology, or I have done project work in cyber security. Not simply doing theoretical project. You have to do the project, application-oriented project, identify the problem of the industry and do a project. Automatically, we don't know how your fortune will change. Not only simple job, probably you may end up finally with some kind of startup, and also it may also lead to some kind of entrepreneurship. So even if you interact with some of the young entrepreneurs, you will find this kind of stories only. Initially, small idea. For that small idea, they will integrate the social problem, industry problem, region problem, idea and this problem. And if you convert into a project and do it automatically, I'm not saying that everybody will be successful. I'm not saying that everything will become a startup, everything will become a new product, but definitely considerable number of students will become entrepreneurs. They themselves can provide the employment to their friends who have sit in the same benches, who have sat in the same classroom. This happened in many cases. This happened in our institution because one of the strong point of our institute is we have got a very great presence of alumni across the globe, because ours is a 43-year-old institution in the state of Andhra Pradesh, first institution, not only in India, but also in America also. In a great and top leading positions, our alumni are sitting and they are giving lot of inputs and suggestions to our young students and also faculty, so that how to mold their life for to reach a successful goal. So this definitely is a major advantage to the students who opt our institution. Similar outside also, as you are rightly questioned me, outside also they need to choose a branch or any branch. Importance must be given to the institution. Branch, they can choose plus or minus, no issue. But the only thing is, in whatever area they are interested, they have to do in deep. They should do it in deep. They must do it something with a real measurable outcome. So we have been following, measuring the outcome of students, measuring the outcome of faculty. That is the secret of our institution's success over the last 5 years. To end, in fact, our institution last year we achieved AICTE's Best Industry Institute Interaction Award in Civil Engineering. Only institution in the entire state of Andhra Pradesh. Our institution is the only private institution selected for Margadarshan scheme of AICTE for mentoring the nearby institutions, for improving the quality of technical education in those institutions. And our institution is recognized as HERO, Scientific and International Research Organization, by DSIR, Government of India. So there are so many other recognitions are there. In fact, and of course, this is the first institution in the state of Andhra Pradesh which were given autonomous in 2006, and also this autonomous extended for 10 years up to 2028 without visit to the college, based on the what the contributions, recognitions and achievements of the institution. They did not come to the institution for a visit. They have straight away given extension of 10 years autonomous status, which is unique and first time in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Of course, after our institution, few more institutions they might have received. I'm not aware of it, but this is the first of its kind in 2017.
Sir, I want to thank you at the end for all the amazing information and all the insight you gave us today, because this will be really helpful to all the students and the parents out there looking for colleges. And I want to thank you personally for your time and for being part of College Dunia and being part of the initiative Thoughts on Education, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Any information you need, any more information if you want, with regard to the publishing the interview in your magazine or electronic media, website, kindly forward a small line of information to me. I will give some more information which you can make use of it while finalizing your information or data.
Yes.